Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Retroplex, and I just finished watching the Switch 2 Direct, and I gotta say, it looks incredible. I can say that the Direct surpassed my expectations, but after watching it, it turns out that Nintendo's been hiding a dark secret that wasn't presented during the Direct, and it's pretty ugly. In this video, I'll be splitting into two sections. The first half, I'll be talking about like the Direct itself, the lineup of games they presented, and the features of the Switch 2, and all the other stuff, and the second half will be the post-Direct stuff. Basically like the aftermath. And if you enjoy this video, feel free to hit the like button and comment below on what you think about the Switch 2 Direct. And if you want more content like this, feel free to hit the subscribe button below and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload. I appreciate it a ton. Now without further ado, let's talk about the features the Switch 2 has to offer. The Switch 2 is set to release on June 5th, and that's honestly a lot sooner than I thought it would be. I expected it to come out maybe around August, or maybe even around like the fall season, like September or October. So knowing that the Switch 2 will be out in 2 months is really exciting, and I have a good feeling about this summer. Right off the bat, this console looks really nice with the new and improved Joy-Cons, which hopefully, won't suffer from a bad case of Joy-Con drift. For the love of God, please. And they revealed the mysterious C button that is seen on the right Joy-Con. Nobody knew the purpose of the button. The C could have stood for connect, or camera, or it could have even just stood for call, but no. It turns out that the C button is used for the brand new game chat feature. And what that is that you can set up video calls with your friends and play video games together. Just think of it as a Discord call, but on the Switch 2. And the console has a built-in microphone that detects your voice on the call. You can even use this feature in handheld mode too. You don't even need to play the same game as your friends to join the call. You can be on a call while playing Animal Crossing, and your friend playing Mario Wonder, and your other friend playing Fortnite at the same time. But that's not all the game chat feature has to offer. They're also including the Switch 2 camera, where you can enable face cam during your video calls. Now keep in mind, you are required to have the Nintendo Switch Online membership to use game chat, but Nintendo is generous enough to offer it for the non-members for free until the 31st of March 2026. Which gives you 9 months of free game chat service. This is honestly a really cool feature that Nintendo included for the system. I most likely won't use this feature because I'm more of a solo gamer, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to take advantage of the game chat feature once it releases. Another feature that they showcase is the game share feature, where you can play locally with people with multiple systems in just one game. So now if you want to play Mario Kart locally with your friends, you don't need to worry if all your friends have the same game as you, because you only need one. Game share even works with the original Switch 1, the OLED Switch, and even the Switch Lite. But now we get to the specs of the Switch 2. As shown in the video presentation, the Switch 2 is 7.9 inches, which is 1.7 inches larger than the Switch 1, and it now has a resolution of 1080p in handheld mode, which is certainly a huge upgrade from the Switch 1 720 resolution in handheld mode. It now runs at 120 FPS and has LCD and HDR support to make the image quality as good as it gets. The console also has 3D audio, new and improved kickstand, Joy-Cons that are now supported magnetically instead of those stupid fragile slide-on hinges that the Switch 1 had. The system now also has 2 USB-C ports, one on the bottom for charging, and another one on top for the new camera. Or if you want to charge it in tabletop mode, you can just use the top port. And the Switch 2 has an upgraded storage capacity of 256 gigabytes. That is a lot in comparison to the Switch 1 storage, which is 32 gigs. And with the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 dock, you can now play games on the big screen in 4K resolution. 4K! This is officially the first Nintendo console that can run up to 4K resolution. So that is just really exciting. We also got our first look at the brand new Switch 2 Pro controller, which looks very similar to the Switch 1 controller, but the main difference is that the controller has the game chat button on it, along with the new GR and GL buttons on the back of the controller, and an audio jack to plug in your headphones. I'll definitely be buying the controller because it's pretty damn awesome. My bank account won't be damn awesome after that though. Now we all know that the Switch 2 is backwards compatible with Switch 1 games, which is fantastic. But Switch 1 compatibility is not the only thing that there is to offer. They announced that some Switch 1 games will be getting upgrades exclusively for the Switch 2. And the first Switch 2 edition game that they announced was Super Mario Party Jamboree, which I was not expecting at all, with the new upgrade being the Jamboree TV mode, with adding new mini games that puts the new Joy-Con mouse feature to good use, along with mini games that uses the voice command coming from the built-in microphone, and enhances the base Mario Party gameplay with the new Switch 2 camera. Basically what that means is that if you play Mario Party mode with with a group of people, you can see each other's faces on the screen as little icons as you're playing. And I think this is a really sick feature that really improves the Mario Party experience like never before. And the upgrade will be available on July 24th, so I'll definitely be looking forward to that. And they also announced that Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will also be getting upgrades too, with boosted frame rates and HDR support. And this is honestly really incredible because, as you may know, both the Zelda games are locked at 30 FPS on the Switch. So playing these games at 60 FPS in 4K resolution on the big screen on actual Nintendo hardware and not a Switch emulator on the PC will be a hell of an adventure. This honestly may motivate me to pick up where I left off on Breath of the Wild. Yep, you heard me right. I have not yet finished Breath of the Wild, and I have yet to play Tears of the Kingdom either.
You need to leave!
To any Zelda fans watching, I am so sorry you had to hear those words come out of my mouth. I really want to get to those games soon. And they also announced Kirby in the Forgotten Land with an expansion called Star-Crossed World. And yes, this game is also getting a performance boost. Then they also announced Metroid Prime 4, which will be getting both a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 release. I honestly kind of predicted that this will happen since the first Prime 4 trailer dropped right around the Switch 2's debut, so this is honestly the least surprising game for me. And finally, they announced Pokemon Legends Z8 for the Switch 2. And if you already own these selected titles, you have the option to purchase the upgrade pack separately on the eShop. I really hope they announce more Switch 2 games in the near future because this is just awesome. And now we get to the brand new games making their Switch 2 debut. Starting off with the launch title, we got the brand new Mario Kart game titled Mario Kart World. And this game just looks phenomenal. Like, holy shit. They really went all out for this game, with alt costumes for each character just like in Mario Kart Tour, brand new and returning tracks, and you can even play as a fucking cow. I want this game right fucking now. And there's even brand new driving mechanics like driving on top of the water, or driving on the walls, and you can even grind on the rails. And this is the first ever open world Mario Kart game where you can just drive everywhere. Basically, all the tracks in this game are fused into one giant course that takes up the whole world, which explains why it's called Mario Kart World. And there's brand new modes with the knockout mode where you can race against other players non-stop, and if you fall behind you get eliminated. And there's the free roam world where you drive wherever the f you want with no rules, just exploring the map. And the art style of this game looks insane. We only got one trailer of this game and it already looks like the most anticipating Switch 2 game of all time. And we're getting another direct dedicated to Mario Kart World in a few weeks, so that's gonna be really exciting. And they also announced a sequel to the GameCube fan favorite Kirby Air Ride titled Kirby Air Riders, being made by Masahiro Sakurai. I haven't played much of the first Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube, but knowing that the Switch 2 is getting a sequel later this year is gonna be really awesome, especially for all the Kirby Air Ride fans, obviously. And the last big main title that they announced was a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game titled Donkey Kong Bananza. And this is also a really big deal too because we haven't gotten a new DK title in almost 10 years, I think. Not counting DK Country Returns and DK Tropical Freeze on the Switch 1 because those are only ports from previous consoles. This is something brand new like we've never seen before. I absolutely adore DK's new design with how lively and expressive he looks. When DK's redesign was shown in the very first Switch 2 trailer, I was honestly kind of mixed with his new look since I've always been so used with his previous design. But seeing him in his new game, I just can't help but love his redesign. And the game will be out on July 17th, so I'll definitely be on the lookout for that game too. And they also announced some third-party games that are coming to the Switch 2 that include Elden Ring, Yakuza, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk, Deltarune. They announced a ton of third-party titles, which honestly look pretty cool. And they also announced that the GameCube library is finally coming to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack exclusively for the Switch 2, and it'll be out on launch, so I'm really hyped for that one too. They're adding Zelda, Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Mario Strikers, Soul Calibur 2. The only games that they are missing are Mario Kart Double Dash and Super Smash Bros. Melee, and a bunch of other games. Then we'll be good. And that basically sums up everything presented in the Switch 2 Direct. But now we get to the aftermath, and I promise you, that smile that you had while watching the Direct will slowly turn upside down when you find out about the pricings of the games in the console. So the Switch 2 console is set to cost at $450. A bit more expensive than I thought it would be, but for a console that runs in 4K and is backwards compatible, the price is reasonable. And they'll also be releasing a bundle with a digital copy of Mario Kart World, which is $50 more. So $450 for the standalone system, or $50 extra if you're buying the bundle. But I'm sure that the games will still be at least $60, right? Wrong. Turns out that the Switch 2 games will be more expensive than the Switch 1 games. DK Bananza will cost you $70, Mario Kart World will cost you $80, and if you plan on buying the Switch 2 edition games, let's say you'd be spending about $10 to $20 more than the standalone Switch 1 games. And another thing I forgot to mention earlier on this video is that they showcased a tutorial-like game called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour that demonstrates the functionalities of the new Joy-Cons. Kinda like how the PS5 has Astro's Playroom to demonstrate how the new controller works. And when watching the trailer, I assumed that it would come in pre-installed with the console for free, like what the PS5 did. But since this is Nintendo, I should have known better that this tech demo is paid software you can buy from the Nintendo eShop. Are you f***ing serious? I was actually kind of skeptical and wanted to try out the game once it releases, but knowing that I have to pay for it, yeah, I'm definitely gonna take a pass on this one. And if you plan on buying the Switch 2 camera, $50, a Pro Controller, $80, an additional pair of Joy-Cons, $90. I'm not even gonna do the math on how much all this costs in total for two reasons. One, fuck math, and two, I already know if I add all this up, I'm gonna fucking throw up all over my monitor screen. And to top it all off, pre-orders are now available on April 9th. Not. They delayed the pre-orders of the Switch 2 until who knows when because of the tariffs, and there's a good chance that the pricings can go up even higher because of that. Now, don't ask me stuff about the tariffs. I'm not like Jaden Smith who likes to talk about the political and economic state of the world. As of now, this will not interfere with the Switch 2 release date. It's still set to release on the 5th of June. Now, what did we all learn from this video? Nintendo is a bunch of greedy scoundrels that doesn't give a shit about their fans and want our bank accounts to suffer. Well, this officially sucks. I went from being absolutely hyped about the Switch 2 to still being hyped about the Switch 2, but also pretty pissed off that I'm about to spend a gross amount of money on this. Despite the prices, the Switch 2 was a console that I've been waiting for quite some time now, and it'll be a shame if I didn't get my hands on one. And I still believe that the Switch 2 will still sell well, but what do you guys think? Will you be buying the Switch 2 once it comes out, or will you save up for when the Switch 2 gets discounted in the future? Leave them in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Till next time, bye-bye.